Hi everybody, I'm my Gold Experience B1. I hope you are all well today. Now, hopefully I have just to talk through a few things before we get started. First of all, I have received, some of you have given me have sent out your emails, okay, with your work. I appreciate who has sent their work in so far. And you've also asked about your PET results. Now, I am working very, very closely to get everything together. So do not worry. I do have the results and they will be with you in due course. Also, there is a weekly competition, as you may have seen on the YouTube channel, that there's a competition this week. Competition is change of routine with what is your change of routine. So change of daily routine. So talk about your routine as to what has happened now. Okay, so today's lesson is going to be in two videos. So in part one, you're going to be focusing on listening. You're focusing on listening in part one, and in part two, you're going to be focusing on speaking. Now, the speaking is going to be a little bit different, so I'm going to explain that in part two, but first I'm going to be focusing on part one. Now, I need you to open your books to your Gold Experience B1 textbook to page 74. So to page 74. Okay. All right. Okay, so today I want you to look at activity 1. So I want you to look at activity 1. Now, it would say that you have to work in pairs, but I'm going to tell you to do something a little bit different. I want you to read about the young people in the photos and answer the questions. So I want you to write your answers to this. So I want you to write your answers to this, and as I said before, you can take a photo or email your answers to me, and I'll be able to give you feedback. Okay, so you have 2 minutes to do you have 2 minutes to read the text and another 2 minutes to answer the questions. Okay, so you have 2 minutes to do that. Okay, all right, pause the video and then come back. Okay, everybody, so now I want you to focus on activity 2. So activity 2. You are going to listen to the beginning of a radio interview with a girl who's created an app. What kind of app is it? What kind of app is it? Now listen carefully to the audio, okay?
Today I'm joined by Holly Jones, a local teenager who created a recycling app for young people in her area. Holly, when did you first become interested in recycling?
Well, my mum used to show me newspaper stories about problems with rubbish, but I never cared much about those. Then one day I saw a documentary on TV about how much plastic is wasted. That was when I started paying attention to the issue. Later, I went to a conference to hear other young people talk about the topic.
Okay. Now that you've listened, what kind of app is it? What kind of app is it? It is a recycling app for young people in the area. So if you got that right, well done. Okay, so if you got that right, well done. Okay, now let's move on to activity 3. So look on to activity 3. I want you to focus on the box for a moment, okay? When we're looking at the exam tips, this is the multiple choice section in your listening exam we're focusing on today. Just remember that when you hear something in the listening, you don't choose an option just because the speaker may mention it, okay? All the answer options will be mentioned, but only one has to be correct. Only one will be correct. So you need to listen carefully from the start right through to the end. That's why you need to read the question carefully and read the options carefully as to what they are specifically going to talk about. Okay, so you need to be very, very careful. Now, I want you to read question 1 from exercise 4 below. Listen again to the short audio that you just listened and choose the correct answer. And then think about why are the other 2 options incorrect. Okay, so now listen again.
Today I'm joined by Holly Jones, a local teenager who created a recycling app for young people in her area. Holly, when did you first become interested in recycling?
Well, my mum used to show me newspaper stories about problems with rubbish, but I never cared much about those. Then one day I saw a documentary on TV about how much plastic is wasted. That was when I started paying attention to the issue. Later, I went to a conference to hear other young people talk about the topic.
Okay, so now that you've had a moment to think about it, what is the correct answer? What is the correct answer? The correct answer is A. One day she saw a documentary on TV, and that was when she decided to pay attention. So she decided to pay attention. So that means when you're paying attention to something, you are now listening. You've got the person's attention. Okay? Now I want to hear your responses on why the other two options are incorrect. Okay, moving on swiftly. We're looking at exercise 4. Exercise 4 on page 74. You are now going to listen to the full interview. I want you to choose the correct answer. I am going to play the listening once, and in this video you can rewind it back and listen again. Okay? And at the end, once you have finished this exercise, we'll go through the answers. Okay? Alright, here is the listening. Okay? So remember, playing it once, but you can rewind it to listen again.
Today I'm joined by Holly Jones, a local teenager who created a recycling app for young people in her area. Holly, when did you first become interested in recycling?
Well, my mum used to show me newspaper stories about problems with rubbish, but I never cared much about those. Then one day I saw a documentary on TV about how much plastic is wasted. That was when I started paying attention to the issue. Later, I went to a conference to hear other young people talk about the topic.
Your app encourages young people to recycle things. What makes it successful?
Well, it's a game where teenagers get points when they recycle things. They then use those points to buy things in the real world, like a coffee or cinema ticket. I thought people would like it because it's a simple game and enjoyable to play, but actually users tell me it's because they feel happy when they use it because they're doing something good.
What was the most challenging thing about creating this app?
Finding someone to create the app for me for free was really hard. The idea for the game came to me quickly, so that wasn't a problem, and neither was telling people about the app. I just use social media.
What's your goal? What do you hope to achieve with this app?
None of my friends think much about the environment. They throw plastic bottles away after one use. They get pizza delivered and throw away the boxes. I want to persuade young people to think differently about the environment. This might lead to even bigger changes beyond recycling.
You must be very busy doing schoolwork and running your app. What do you do to relax?
I do spend a lot of time working on my project. Last weekend I had my picture taken by a well-known photographer for a magazine, but I do have free time too. I should use it to update my website, but I forget. I spend the time drawing.
What are your plans for the future?
I'm going to university, so my little brother's going to start running the app. I hope to learn from some brilliant technology professors because I want to help clean up our oceans. There's a Dutch guy called Boyan Slat who started a company to do that when he was just 19. I'd love to go and work for him.
Thank you very much, Holly, and good luck.
Okay, as I've said, you can rewind this video and listen again. Okay? All right, now that you're finished, let's go through the answers. So as you know, number 1, as we were told, was A. So what is number 2? People have told Holly they like the app because A, they think it's fun to play, B, it's easy for them to use, or C, it makes them feel good. The answer is C, it makes them feel good. So if you got that right, put a tick beside it. Number 3, Holly thinks the most difficult thing about making the app was it A, advertising it to customers, B, attracting someone to create it, or C, thinking of an idea for it? The correct answer is B, attracting someone to create it. So that's say trying to find someone to write the app for free was hard, but the other 2 things were okay. 4. Holly's main goal was to A, make sure all plastic is recycled, B, change the way people think, or C, to reduce the use of plastic. The answer was B, change the way we think. Okay, so change the way we think and how we do things. Okay, so we wanted to persuade young people to think differently. Activity 5, what does Holly do in her spare time? She creates art, she takes photographs, or she writes a blog for her website. She creates art. And what she meant by that was she spends her free time drawing. So when you're talking about free time, it's talking about things you do when you're not doing other things. Like for example, in my free time, I sit and read, I cook, and do different things like that. Okay, and then in the final question, what are Holly's plans for the future? What are her plans for the future? To be employed by an environmental company, and she said she'd love to go to work for a Dutch guy who started a company that will help them clean up the oceans. So that's actually quite a very good answer to get that as well. So hopefully you've all done well at this point. Now, I want you to look at activity 6 very, very quickly, everybody. So, activity 6. Have something done or to get something done. Look at the grammar box for a moment. We use have got, have, or to get something done when someone else does a job for us. For example, a service that we pay for, or when we can use it in different tenses. So for example, my friends get pizza delivered every Friday. Sam's having his hair cut at the moment. Hey, have you got a haircut, Sam? Or are you getting a cut at the moment? And my sister's had her wedding dress specially made, so that means it's custom, okay? We use by to say exactly who does the job for us. So for example, I had my photo taken by a well-known photographer. And looking at that, so what verb form is used after have and get? What verb form is used after have or get? Is it present form? Is it a past simple form? Or is it a past participle? Think about it. Think about it for a moment. Anyone? The answer is the past participle is used after have and get. Now, what I would like you to do is turn to page 136 very quickly. Okay, 136 very quickly. Okay, so page 136 very quickly. And go to the grammar reference. So as I say, have to get something done. So you have, so 136, this will explain this. So you have subject, have or get, plus object, plus past participle. So for example, I've got my haircut at Headlines. Or we got our photos taken at school today. We use this when somebody else does something for us, and we often pay them to do it for us. Get something done means the same as have something done, but it's less formal. Which we use it when we are talking. So for example, I get my teeth checked every 6 months. And when we want to say who does the action, we use by. So the food for our party was made by professional chefs. So on the next page, on page 137, I want you to look at the activities for have and get something done and complete them for homework. So you can take a photo and send, or take a photo or type the answers out and send them to me by email. Okay? Also as well, on page 74, I also want you to complete activity 7. Okay, I want you to complete activity 7 and complete the sentences with the correct form of have something done and the verb in brackets. So that is your next homework that for you to complete. Okay, so that and page 137 in your textbooks. Okay, so take a photo or type your answers out and then send them to me and I'll give you some feedback. Okay, so that is the end of part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 when we're going to go into speaking. All right, see you in a minute. Bye.